How you guys doing tonight? What's up, Tom? About to go live here with a fitness coach from India, personal trainer over there. So it's actually like 8 or 9 in the morning over there. So whenever he hops on, how you doing, Francisco? We're just gonna hop on here and talk about fitness, fasting, nutrition, workouts. Randall, request live. You have to request to join.
Hi,
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, Christopher? How are you doing?
I actually just got back from a workout. I just got back from the gym. I ate and showered, so this was like perfect timing.
Oh, yeah, because I was thinking about the same because of some confusion in our dates. So, due to the time zone also. And I said, we're doing it today. And I was really excited to get along with you with this session. And so it's happening. So, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, so it's Thursday
Like there are
morning right now.
there are there are there are people joining, so we can wait for 2 minutes and then or a minute and we can start.
Yeah, for sure. And after we post this live, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
save it and repost it to my YouTube channel anyway. So if we only get a few people on here, that's totally
Mm-hmm.
fine because, like I said, I'll repost it on YouTube so people can watch it later.
Okay, fine. No problem. We can do that. So
So
how's
what
it
time
going
is
with
it?
you?
What time is it in India right now? Like around
Uh,
9:30?
it, no, it's 8:30 a.m. in the morning. Yours?
It's 10:59 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 10:59 p.m. Oh, that's nice. So you just finished your workout and you came.
Yep, just finished my workout. I went to the gym and I actually
Mm-hmm.
stayed a little longer than usual today. Today my workout was about an hour and a half. Normally I can keep them under an hour and a half. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I just did some like pulls, like I did
Cool then.
rows. I did some legs.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe
So,
just back and legs, biceps today.
mhm. So you combine everything. Like pull muscles will involve your back and biceps and your hamstrings, or did you use entire thighs
Yep, that
like
was
workout?
basically it for today. So I'll only work out
Mm-hmm.
3 days a week doing it like that,
Oh.
which is really convenient because I can still make
Mm-hmm.
gains doing 3 days a week. How about you? Do you
Mm-hmm.
go every day?
I work out 4 times a week, 4 to 5 times max, and that includes strength training and cardiovascular training. Like I would just go for a run on the beach or maybe do some treadmill for a while.
Yeah,
And yeah, that helps me. That helps me a lot. Weight training alone won't help me because I don't feel that energy. I won't feel that strength if I'm not doing cardiovascular activities. Like you need a certain amount of oxygen, you need to breathe also while working out. And many a times people, forget about breathing, Christopher. Like they hold themselves stiff and they perform reps. That is like really bad because it decreases your performance at some point. So if you're
right.
able to breathe better, then you're able to live better. And heart is just like any other muscle, I feel. So that needs training, and that can be obtained from, cardiovascular training, whatever it is, swimming, jogging, running, any other thing, activities that involves your heart to function efficiently. That's
Yeah,
what I
I agree
believe.
with that. I agree with that 100% as far as breathing goes. I
Mm-hmm.
personally don't do a lot of cardio, if any cardio at all, but
Mm-hmm.
I do see people in the gym all the time, and I'm victim of this too sometimes. I will do like a
Mm-hmm.
super heavy set and I'll hold my breath when I'm doing a super heavy
Mm-hmm.
set. And I have to like tell myself, hey, don't do that. You have to breathe during the set. It actually makes it
Exactly.
harder to hit the weight that you want to hit when you're holding your breath. And it's like such a natural habit. Like it's such a bad habit once you
It's a
start
nice
doing it, you know,
one.
to
Good
hold
time.
your breath when you're like squatting or bench pressing, like doing a super heavy set.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually do breathing exercises about once a
Mm-hmm.
day, every day, um, for like cell oxidation health.
Mm-hmm.
And those last for about 5 minutes. I'll do like some intense breathing exercises.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I'll do like some deep, slow breathing exercises. I was going to ask you how you felt about that since we were talking about breathing.
That's good. Do you meditate or something, or do you apply some other techniques of breathing?
Yeah.
Because
So my breathing workout routine is as follows. I don't even really think about it as a routine. I just kind of think about it as something I do every day. So
mm-hmm.
I'll start off with some like more so breathing exercises. Like I'll do some, like the Wim Hof breathing method, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll
Mm-hmm.
do some like I'll use my arms to help me to take deeper breaths. Like I'll raise my arms up like
Oh, that's nice.
yep. And
That's nice.
then
That's really nice.
yep. And then other ones that are similar to that. So I'll do that for about 4 minutes. And
Mm-hmm.
then after that, I will do 5 minutes of breathing meditation. So just in for 7, hold for 7, out for
Seven
7
and
counts.
out for 7.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I'll do that for about 5 minutes. And then I'll end with a static breath hold. Sometimes I do 2 reps
Mm-hmm.
of static breath holds where I'll just kind of lay down or sit down and just kind of stay present.
Got
So almost in a meditative state. So I do it after I'm done
it.
meditating. And then I'll just hold my breath for as long as I can within reason. Like I'm not going to let myself pass out. And then
Mm-hmm.
I'll, like when I force myself to breathe, that's the most natural breathing that you can do when you really need to
Mm-hmm.
breathe. Just take it in through your nose and out through your mouth. And it feels great, actually. It makes you feel alive.
Makes you feel alive.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's a question here put up by a person named Vashish. The question is for both of you, how to reduce facial fat? This is the most common questions that even I get asked. So do you want to take this or shall I take this?
So I can take it first, and then I'd love to hear what your opinion is
Sure.
on it. So fat that can stick around on specific parts of the body can be really tricky. Like some people have fat that sticks around on their arms, like around their tricep. Some people get it on their love handles or on their butt, and some people get it on their face. So I
Mm-hmm.
definitely understand why it's frustrating when you get like fat that you can't lose on your face because it's like you can't exercise your face, like if you have tubby cheeks or fat around your neck. I mean, you can do like jaw stretches and you can work out your jaw muscle and your neck, but like to only to an extent. So the best thing I would say for reducing face fat or just stubborn body fat in whatever area is staying in a caloric deficit. So the longer you can stay in a caloric deficit for, the more you're going to lose fat. And I advocate for fasting. So you never want to stay in a caloric deficit for days and days and days in a row, upwards of weeks or months in a row, because then you could get really sick because you're expending more calories than you're taking in. But like if you would be in a caloric deficit, meaning that your body is expending more calories than you're taking in for like 5 or 6 days out of the week, every week, eventually that face fat, that stubborn body fat will go away because what your body's going to do is it's going to use that stubborn body fat for fuel because it's not getting calories for fuel. So it's going to use that excess body fat in those stubborn areas. Go ahead.
So yeah, I agree with you. I strongly agree with you because many a times I get this question from my clients and even the people in the gym when I work out with. They're like, what's the exercise for this facial fat that they are getting? So my answer to them is always like that, like this, that you should go in a caloric deficit diet. There's no specific exercise for the facial fat. So if suppose you're weighing around 75 and you're overweight, for example, I'm giving you an example. So when you start losing weight, there's a time you see changes in your facial features as well, right? Your jaws tend to go in. That indicates, like, when I used to prepare for contests and everything, like any preparation that I used to do for a body shoot and any other thing, I should notice this, that my jawline, I mean my cheeks, used to be a little bit puffed. So when I'm going in a deficit and reducing carbs at the same time, the last week I was picking, so I could see these jaws going in. And to anyone, like whoever is to come for the contest, and if I see their jaws in, and I would be like, dude, this guy must be shred, because with the jaws, you can indicate this guy is having a very low body fat percentage. So at the end, I feel it's all dependent on your body fat percentage, the way you put yourself in a caloric deficit diet. And I also agree when you said you cannot do it for a long period of time because you're harming yourself. You're depriving your body of certain nutrients and other things. So yeah, I agree with you. And there are no specific exercises for the facial fat or any other fat. This is basically like talking about spot reduction. You've heard of spot reduction. Like people feel that uh, there's fat on the tummy, so if they do abs, that's going to vanish.
Right.
That's not the truth. And
Definitely.
also, same goes with the facial fat. That's
Yep.
all I can say.
Yeah. So I wanted to touch on a point you made. And also, guys, if I'm noticing more people coming in to the live video, if you guys want to ask questions, we would love to answer those. That'll make this live video more interactive and more fun for everyone. But I wanted to touch on one point that you made as far as how to know when you're in a caloric deficit for too long. Because we both said that you don't want to be in that deficit for too long because you'll get sick.
That,
But how do you know when it's too long? So the point I wanted to say for that is, because not everyone's going to know, if you start to plateau, meaning you stop losing fat, or worse, you stop getting stronger. Like, let's say you're working out in the gym and you stop getting stronger and you notice that maybe you're actually getting weaker. That's how you know that you have been in a caloric deficit for too long. Because what could happen is your body would go into a catabolic state, and essentially your body thinks, oh my goodness, like I'm actually starving, like I'm expending more calories than I'm taking in every single day, and I'm never at a caloric maintenance or a caloric surplus. So what your body will do is it will hold on to your body fat for storage because it actually thinks that you're starving and it thinks that you need that to stay alive, and it'll start to tear down or break down your protein, your muscle fibers, and use that for energy instead, so that you
mm,
don't lose all of your body fat, because your body doesn't want to have 0% body fat, you know? So if you do
mhm.
notice that you are um, not losing body fat anymore, or you're getting weaker in the gym, you're losing muscle mass, then that's how you know that you've been in a caloric deficit for too long. Your thoughts on
I
that?
mean, yeah, then I feel you always hit a plateau because you can't follow a certain thing for a long period of time, be it anything. You need changes. You need to change your diet, or you need to change your workout routines and everything. But priority here is nutrition. That's all I can say. So yeah, when you hit a plateau, you need to change the certain things, and that's how you know that this thing is not working for you. So might as well try something else. So that is
Yeah.
how it works, be it in terms of workout, or because your body observes and notices everything. If you're eating the same thing and if you're being on a caloric deficit for a long time, someday it will stop responding. That's when you hit the plateau. So you need to do a certain changes in your lifestyle, in your routine, especially your diet, and I feel you can get there. You can achieve results and you can move forward. That's my take when it comes to, hitting the plateau.
Okay, cool. So what do you advocate for as far as nutrition goes? Speaking of that, do you have any like
Um,
specific dietary requirements you really recommend?
um, about nutrition, I believe that, it depends on my goal. If I want to gain, or if I want to maintain, or if I want to lose. Although being an ectomorph, I don't need to lose much. I just reduce my carbs, and whenever I'm prepping or whenever I need to look good in a photo shoot or any other thing that I have to open my body, present my body. So that's how it works. About nutrition, I emphasize protein and carbs, and then comes fat. All right, because protein is the must macronutrient in order to recover, as you know. And people going zero carbs, I don't agree with that. Everyone has a different take on fitness. So my principle about, getting zero carbs is totally not worth it. If you're a competitive athlete and you need to manipulate your macronutrients, then you gotta do it. That
Right.
is a different level. But in terms of general fitness, speaking in terms of general fitness, I can say is that you just need to be on good with your portion sizes. You need to reduce your portion. Like this, I'm a believer of this 90% rule, wherein you start eating, and then feel you're going to feel that you're about to get full. There's a time you stop. There's a time you stop. You don't overeat, so you just eat 90%. That's the whole rule, and include more of fiber, more of veggies, so we don't have to be deprived of all the micronutrients as well. So for me, nutrition is all everything balanced. Nutrition is the must. Nutrition is a package, you can say, in order to build a great physique, and whatever the goal is, it all depends. If suppose the goal is fat loss, then the protein will be a little bit higher, moderate carbs, and moderate, fats, you can say. Everything works differently for each and everyone's body. Like if I go on carb deprivation mode, I feel weak. I feel I'm going to crash. So that's the thing. For example, take example of endomorph now. Endomorph's nutrition will be if they eat too much of carbs, then there'll be like a gain of weight gain, and you don't know what it is. Like it can be, according to me, I have a friend who's an endomorph. He has to work out twice a day if preparing for something or any other thing. So, for example, morning cardio for an hour that involves just brisk walking, and evening workout. And carbs kept to minimal because there's a high tendency that they are going to gain some weight or some water. So that's how nutrition works for me, and including supplements also. The thing is, there's this dependency that people have developed in the sense of, oh, so I'm going to have this whey protein at 5 p.m. and then 7 a.m. when I wake up, I'm also going to have this whey protein. So I feel whey protein is just a powder.
Right.
It's not a real food. It's not a real food. I feel nutrition is real food. So if you're getting 25 grams of protein via a whey protein shake, you're getting same 25 grams of protein by eating 100 grams of chicken. So which would you go for? A drink or some real food, which will make you and keep you full for a longer period of time?
Right.
So my take on nutrition has been always like this: eat and lose. Don't starve and lose.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%, dude. Absolutely. Um, I don't typically advocate for supplements. If you want to take supplements, go ahead. Um, but if you can get your nutrition from real foods, that is 100% the best way to do it by far. Because these foods were created, you know what I mean, by God for us to
Hmm.
eat. So obviously then if we're eating balanced foods for the most part, I mean, not every single meal has to have every single food group in it, but like within reason, eat balanced meals, you're going to get all the macro and micronutrients that you need. Um, and
Hmm.
then like if you're lifting, for example, like you said, your friend that's an endomorph, he would just need to eat bigger meals, in my opinion. Or I guess a larger amount of macros, like a larger amount of protein, depending on what he was
Protein.
trying to do. Um, and you said that he was working out twice a day. I typically don't advocate for people to work out twice a day, but
Hmm.
it sounds like
Hmm.
his second workout every day, his first workout, I should say, was just like a brisk walk or something, which to me isn't really a workout. That's more of just like an active
Hmm.
lifestyle thing that you should be doing. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So
exactly.
I like that a lot. I'm actually a big advocate for walking in general. A lot of people don't
Hmm.
understand like how healthy walking is, like
Walking.
literally just walk. Um, like 25% faster than your normal walking pace.
Normal
And just
walk.
like that, you could consider that a workout if you really wanted to.
Is it just that like you can walk for at least minimum 45 minutes to 60 minutes? Considering the treadmill speed, I usually go for my cardio or my walking outside on a beach or outdoors wherever possible. So treadmill, what happens? You get stuck in the same place. So what I was telling you is that if you're doing a brisk walk, as you said, you need to walk 25% faster. That is like 5.7 speed on the treadmill, and that really helps you because it kind of gets you more hungry. I think it gives a boost to your metabolism compared to strength training. Strength training does help you to wear and tear the muscle, but I think cardio is what facilitates hunger. I've noticed that if I do cardio, then I eat like an animal. Like if I do cardio on a certain day, like I take sprints also in between when doing cardio, just for the heartbeat to elevate and just to feel breathless
Yeah.
and then feel good, all good about myself. And then yeah, strength training is like the perfect strength training and cardiovascular training is a perfect combination. I see guys stuck at the gym just doing strength training. That's it. And with a lot of injuries, I've seen guys training 7 days a week also with taking no off. That's ridiculous. I can say that's really ridiculous. So whatever it is, it's like 3 to 4 times a week, and then you're good to go. And even if you want to work extra, so I can say that you can do your cardio, that is brisk walking, which is not counted as a workout as well. You said it right.
Yeah.
I
I
said
mean,
I said this is what it helps.
for some people that might be a workout though. Like for example, if someone is like really out of shape and they haven't worked out before or in a long time, that brisk walk for 60 minutes or however long they do that, that might be a pretty intense workout. But for like me and you, probably not, you know?
Probably
But
not.
as far as cardio goes, it absolutely is an appetite increaser. So
Hmm.
that's another reason why I don't advocate for people to do cardio when it comes to like just starting exercising if you're trying to lose weight, because some people, especially people that aren't like super fitness minded, will go to the gym and do like 60 minutes of cardio, whether it's on the elliptical or the
Hmm.
treadmill or whatever, and then they'll think like, oh, now I can go and eat like pizza or ice cream. Like, no, you
Wrong.
really can't. I mean, you can, but at what cost? Because when you were doing your cardio for 60 minutes, you probably only burned a couple hundred calories, and then
Hmm.
you go and eat your pizza or ice cream, and that like one slice of pizza is like 370 calories. So
Of
what did
course.
you really what did you really
And
do? Like actually, as far as cardiovascular health goes, that cardio was great. But otherwise, like, I mean, even like just regular anaerobic strength training can still help to improve your cardiovascular health. Not as much as like running on the treadmill, for example, but again, like I said, at what cost? Because you don't want to increase your appetite that much if you're trying to lose fat.
to lose.
Yeah. So like for
Exactly.
me and you, if we wanted to do cardio, which like I personally don't, but like if you wanted to, and then you wanted to go home and eat a huge meal, you could probably do that because you're already at a low enough percent body fat, or you already stay in a caloric deficit for X amount of days every week, like 3, 4, 5 days a week, that you could eat in a surplus for 2 or 3 days a week and still
Hmm.
stay in, your top physical condition. You see what
Of
I mean?
physical condition. Exactly. 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 I understand. So yeah, that is good. So about this take on pizza, I would say that people go on a caloric deficit diet when they are on a fat loss program. So for example, if you're having a caloric, your diet is 2,500, just example, 2,500 calories a day, and you're depriving like 500 calories. So for the day, you're having just 2,000 calories, and that goes from Monday to Saturday. And imagine if you have pizza on Sunday. I'm not against junk food. I'm not against any other thing, but I'm just saying for those who have a goal. So from Monday to Saturday, you go on a deficit of 500 calories per day. And if you're eating pizza on a Sunday, one slice is 375 calories, as you said. And I know you are not going to end up eating just one slice. So the thing is, if you eat four slices, so 4 into 375 gives you some poor. My math is poor, but I can say that it fills up all the calories that you have been deficit about for the entire week from Monday to Saturday. So that's like your 7 days, 6 days of work going into the drain. There's no point in that. I suggest cheat meals are essential because, it helps you to, refresh yourself, like because you're being eating the same food over a long period of time, and then comes a time then your body no longer responds. So it needs that, reward or bonus. You can always reward your body with some food on a day when you're not training. I think that would be advisable for anyone or everyone who's trying to, either lose or gain. Not gain, but mostly lose fat and lose weight. That's all.
Yeah, right. So I'm glad you said that you're not against like pizza and ice cream and junk food, for example, because I'm not either. I actually believe that you can still eat those kind of foods and maintain top physical shape.
Exactly.
Um, See, I'm the whole reason or part of the reason why I decided to start in this whole fitness coach um, area on social media is
Mm-hmm.
because I was so sick of the mainstream fitness industry telling people, oh, you need to go to the gym and exercise 6 or 7 days a week, and all you need to eat, chicken and rice out of Tupperware 6 times a day, and you can never have snacks. And it's just like being a slave to your fitness all the time. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking, I don't do any of that crazy stuff. I still eat, pizza and snacks and chips or whatever
Mm-hmm.
within reason, I only go to the gym 6 days a week. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
in better shape than almost anyone else that I know, especially everyone that's not, into fitness as much as I
Mm-hmm.
am. So I was like, I just have too
Mm-hmm.
much to offer to just sit around and not share it, because the mainstream food and health industry wants you to believe that you absolutely have to be a slave to your fitness. You have to take all these crazy supplements. Like if you open a fitness magazine, what are you going to see?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see all kinds of advertisements for like $100
Marketing.
protein powders. You're going to see all kinds of
Mm-hmm.
advertisements for like bodybuilder workouts. And I mean, most people don't want to look like a bodybuilder. And if you
Of
do,
course.
that's awesome. But keep in mind that to look like those bodybuilders, like the pros, you need to be taking steroids. And I don't
Yeah.
advocate for that at all. And in these fitness magazines that have the bodybuilder workouts, you have to
Mm-hmm.
realize that these guys that are doing these workouts, that are getting these results that look like bodybuilders, it's because they're on steroids. So if
Of
someone like you
course.
or me does these bodybuilder workouts, we're not going to see those results. I mean, we could still see great results from doing that, but
Mm-hmm.
we're going to overload ourselves. Like we're not going to be giving ourselves enough time to recover because we don't have those anabolic steroids in our system that are helping us bounce back every single workout like those guys do. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying that, I could take steroids and look like um, Ronnie Coleman or Arnold Schwarzenegger, because, these guys are professionals for a reason. But I'm just saying that the average lifter that reads these fitness magazines, they don't understand that.
Exactly. So, and this fitness has always also become a thing that is like 4 week, 6 week, or 8 week, or 12 week transformation, and all the things that go around. People fail to understand, and even at times, we like whoever, like even I used to feel like that it's just a short period of time you do it, and then that's it. But no, it's about improving every day. It's an endless journey. There's no destination to it. You just keep on going and going and going because it's about feeling good about yourself, feeling better, feeling confident, and that can't be done in a 1 month and just left. And the most typical question that I get asked on is that will I gain or will I lose whatever I have achieved after I stop working out? So that's a wrong thing because I think when it comes to body transformation, be it fat loss or be it any other thing, consistency is the key. You have to do it for a long period of time, and people don't understand that. They want instant results, which isn't happening because it's not their fault also. Because when I joined 8 years ago, when I started my journey, I used to be eating fries, a chicken breast, and a lot of other things like cooked unhealthy. and I was trying to gain all that muscle, taking multiple supplements like muscle builder, this and that. What's essential, I think, at the end of the day, is just one whey protein. And that just, psychological that you're thinking, oh, I'm taking a whey protein scoop. So that means I'm getting something out of it. But you need to make sure that the real food is a game changer here. The real food changes everything, makes you feel good, makes you feel better, and also, helps you reach your goals faster, keeps you full for a longer time. And you tend to avoid cravings, junk food, and every other thing. So this is what is going to help you to achieve your goal. That's all I can say about this.
Yeah, so I agree with that for sure. As far as eating real food goes, um,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely advocate for people to eat large, satiating meals. I know you said you advocate for guys or for people to go to 90% of
Mm-hmm.
being completely full. I advocate for going to completely 100% of being full, but that's because I advocate for doing fasting. So, for example, in the summertime, especially, I'll do like 23-hour fasts. So I
Oh.
will fast for a vast majority of the day and then I'll eat one meal a day. So I'll eat at like 8 p.m., and then I'll have one massive meal. But because I was in a fasted state for so long during the day and I had nothing,
Mm-hmm.
like no calories in my system, then my body was using that body fat, like I said earlier, for fuel.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that I can do for a while before I'll need to make sure that I'm not, like I said, going into that starvation mode. And the way that I stay out of that is I'll just eat in a caloric surplus once or twice a week. So I
Mm-hmm.
fast every single day, but it's not a diet for me, it's a lifestyle. So that's what I tell people all the time is that any diet that you do will get you into better shape. Any diet within reason. I mean, obviously, don't have like a donut diet or something stupid like that.
No, obviously
Um,
that's true.
but any like real fitness diet will get you into better shape. Like I know you and I both said we don't really advocate for doing like low carb or no carb diets, like the ketogenic diet. So I don't agree with that either for a lot of reasons. I mean, it is bad for your hormonal health as well to cut out a macronutrient.
Yeah.
But I believe that fasting is definitely the best way for humans to
Mm-hmm.
eat for optimal health. Um,
Mm-hmm.
your thoughts on that?
Uh, about fasting, are you talking about intermittent fasting? Because I've heard of it, but I've never tried it, and I would like to know your experience about it because I'm hungry throughout the day, no matter what. Like I feel hungry even after having a big meal right now. In 3 hours, I'll feel hungry, but I won't, binge it or something and make myself full about it. Uh, I would eat a small snack or something. But how does this fasting work? Because intermittent fasting is a trend right now, or people follow it because I've seen one of my former clients who used to follow it, and I just used to train him. That's it. He used to follow his own diet. He used to say, like, I'm on an intermittent fasting. I said, yeah, no pressure. If that works for you, then you can do it. He was also telling me that if you eat food like 3 hours, like if you have your meal now and then after 3 hours you have another and then after 3 hours you have another, body takes the same amount of energy, to digest that particular food. So it's better you improve your digestive health system and also entire your entire body in terms of like if you eat your meal now and then after 8 hours there's no eating. I mean, after 8 hours you eat, then back again. So that really helps to keep your metabolism stabilized and you feel good overall. You feel good. You feel better about yourself. You feel light. You feel, I said, does it, cause loss of energy or something like that? So he's like, no. You feel better about yourself. You feel more stronger. You may feel more healthier. So what's your take on this? Because, come on, pour it in. I want to know how it goes. Intermittent fasting.
Yeah, so I actually have more energy when I'm in a fasted state. And at first, when I started doing this, it was kind of weird. It was kind of hard. Um, but that's because I was so used to eating 3 or 4 meals a day. So my body had to readapt to the way that it's supposed to
Mm-hmm.
eat. I believe that humans are meant to fast. This is how our bodies were created to operate. And if you think about it, as far as our ancestors go, they weren't waking up in the morning and eating Lucky Charms in the morning, you know? They would have to wake up and hunt for their food in a fasted state because they didn't have refrigerators to keep their food in overnight, you know? So they would go out, hunt for their food, do fasted physical activity, extreme fasted physical activity, because they're going to be doing cardio, they're going to be doing like they're throwing spears at whatever buffalo, dinosaurs, whatever they were hunting. And then they would have to drag all that back to their campsite, cook it all up, eat it all so that it wouldn't go bad, and then wake up the next day and do it again. And sometimes they wouldn't get food for a day. So they might have to fast for like 48 to 72 hours before they get their next meal. And when you think about that, that's how our ancestors ate naturally. And so if you believe in evolution, I don't, but even like as far as adaptation goes, this is excuse me, it would still make sense. So, and when you see like drawings of ancient humans, I mean, what do they look like? They look extremely lean and chiseled. They have nice shoulders. And I understand that those are just drawings. Like, we never seen them, obviously, but those are still historically accurate drawings of what they would have looked like because of their lifestyles, right? So when you're fasting, your body, excuse me. So actually, before you're fasting, let's just take how your body uses energy, or how your body gets energy from the first place. So your body gets energy from carbohydrates first, and then fats, and then proteins, right? So
Exactly.
when you're fasted, there's no carbohydrates in your body, right? So there's no fats in your body either, as far as the calories go, right? So
Exactly.
since there's no fats in your stomach, and your body doesn't want to use the protein for energy, that's like a last resort for if you're starving. What your body will do is, since there's no carbs and there's no fats, your body will use the body fat for energy. Okay?
Fine.
So it'll exclusively tap into those fat stores for energy when you're fasted. And then obviously when you eat again, then it'll tap into, you know, whatever you've eaten to use for energy. So this is why fasting works so well as a method for fat loss. And it's really healthy for a lot of other reasons too. It's anti-aging. It's good for your insulin, especially for someone who has diabetes. It can be really, really helpful. And it has muscle retention benefits, because when you're fasted, your body thinks any kind of physical activity you do, you're doing to get to your next meal. So your body is, you're almost kind of tricking your body into thinking, okay, now I need to keep all this muscle mass because he or she is working extra hard to get that next meal. Because I'm fasted, I'm in a caloric deficit, and we're doing, you know, physical activity. That's why I recommend, if you can, do your workouts fasted, because it's going to help you to retain that muscle mass, right?
Yes, exactly.
And then as far as that goes, I do advocate for intermittent fasting. When someone just starts doing this, I recommend starting slow. Do like 13 or 14-hour fasts for a while, because it's going to take a while for your body to get used to this, right? Our bodies are naturally, our bodies naturally adapt to things. So like, for example, someone that eats junk food every single day, they might not feel like crap. But if you and I started eating junk food and garbage every single day for every meal, we would feel like crap, dude. We would feel like garbage.
Sluggish,
But
lethargic.
but people that are out of shape and don't ever exercise and eat junk food all the time, they don't necessarily feel like that, because their body has adapted to feel like that's normal. Well, the same principle applies with fasting, because it's going to take a while for you to get used to that. Kind of takes a while for your body to remember the way that it's supposed to function, if that makes sense. So what I would recommend is starting slow, like 13, 14-hour fasts, every other day until it starts to feel normal. Then you can bump it up to every day, and then bump those fasts up to 15 or 16, and then 17 or 18-hour fasts. So eat dinner at like 7 p.m. and then don't eat lunch the next day. Excuse me. until like 12 or 1 p.m. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
then if you want to even push it further, because the more you do this, the easier it will get for your body. Like eventually, like for me, because I've been doing this for so long, I don't even
Mm-hmm.
get hungry anymore. And in the morning, like the thought of eating food is disgusting to me.
Oh, exactly.
So once you start to get good at this, you can push your fasts for even longer. And the longer you push a fast, typically the better it is for all kinds of health benefits, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally as well.
Mentally.
Yeah. And I said spiritually for a reason, because in every, or just about every religion, fasting is an important practice. And you kind of have to
Mm-hmm.
ask yourself, why is this an important practice in so many religious texts? And it's because it gives you a stronger connection to the Holy Spirit, in my opinion, and to yourself mentally and emotionally, like I said. So if you can, once you start to get better and better at this, do 24-hour fasts a couple times a week. Um, do a 48-hour fast once a week. And then I personally don't do this that much anymore because I don't need to, because I already have such a low percentage of body fat. But I
Body fat.
also tell people to experiment with dry fasting. So that's fasting and also not drinking any water at all. So you're not
Water.
taking in anything. And
Anything.
this has all kinds of crazy health benefits. Dry fasting does. But the main one would be that, there's obviously toxins in your body fat, right?
Exactly.
And there's water in your body fat, right? So when
Yes.
you're dry fasting, your body's like 70 something percent water. So it still needs that water to survive. So
Mm-hmm.
what it's going to do is it's going to pull the water from your fat stores. Okay. So this is going to put your body into a hyper fat burning state. So I really tell people that are overweight or obese to start experimenting with this, because the rate of fat loss by experimenting with this lifestyle, I don't like to call it a diet. I like to call it a lifestyle, because once you're doing it every day, you don't
It's a
think about it
lifestyle.
as a diet anymore. It's just the way that you live. Um, you would be shocked at the rate of fat loss and how fast it is compared to other
Mm-hmm.
like fad diets, like the ketogenic diet or
Mm-hmm.
whatever else other diet you might be looking at.
Mm-hmm. That's nice to know about intermittent fasting. That's a perfect way that you put it. Yeah, it's good.
I'm just looking to see if we have any questions in the chat. It looks like we
No,
don't.
not yet. So in India, it's early in the morning, so no one is up. But yeah, no problem. We got asked a question about the facial fat, and now we spoke about intermittent fasting. That's also good.
Yep.
So you do your meal preps, right? Do you?
Yeah.
Or
So
you don't
I
need to
do.
necessarily, because you just have 2 meals or 3 meals a day. That is like fasting you do. Like if you eat now, then there's a long gap, and then you eat again, and then there's again a long gap.
Yeah.
So I think if you're on an intermittent fasting, it's much more easier than when you're just having normal meals after every 3 hours in small quantities and in small reduced portions. So how does it work?
So as far as meal prepping goes, what I like to do is I will meal prep for the entire week, and my key staple is meat and potatoes. I love meat and potatoes because you're still getting a lot of protein, you're still getting enough carbs, and you're still getting fat from that animal protein as well. So meat and protein, or meat and protein, meat and potatoes are one of my favorite meals. And I do eat pasta
Mm-hmm.
too. I like to meal prep pasta because it's easy. And I can afford to do that because I have such a low percentage of body fat that if I want to eat pasta, I can go ahead and do that. Now, if I ate pasta exclusively, that would probably be a problem, but I don't. Like the main thing that I eat is meat and potatoes. And potatoes
Mm-hmm.
are such a healthy um, food to eat. So
Food.
a lot of people don't understand what potatoes are because a lot of people just think of foods as like um, fruits, vegetables, and meats. And it's like, okay, well, a potato doesn't really fall into any of those, you know, like it's definitely not a vegetable. So a potato is a tuber,
Mm-hmm.
and tubers
Mm-hmm.
are like roots, for example. So um, potatoes are tubers, carrots are tubers, anything that grows in the ground or like
Mm-hmm.
roots are tubers.
Roots.
And these things are typically so nutrient dense that they will literally grow roots out of themselves without even being planted. Okay. That's why, like, if you leave a potato in your pantry closet for too long, it'll grow roots out of itself because it's so
Roots out
nutrient
of
dense.
itself.
It's so nutrient dense that it'll just grow roots like by its on its
Mm-hmm.
own. Like, you don't see
Mm-hmm.
vegetables or fruits doing that. So a lot of people are afraid of potatoes because they're like, oh, starch, or like,
Oh yeah,
oh,
exactly.
like it's too caloric, it's like too dense in calories, or potato chips or whatever. Like, yeah, you can definitely make potato products unhealthy, but that doesn't necessarily mean that potatoes themselves are
So
unhealthy.
it's
You know what I mean?
unhealthy. I got it. So yeah, also I also recommend like having 5 to 6 portions of fruits and veggies like, divided properly into your meals because uh yeah, you can take a multivitamin tablets, but in the end, I said real food is a game changer. So maybe two and a half portions of fruits and vegetables in all of your meals. You can do this easily, and then you don't even have the need to take a multivitamin supplement or do any other thing because people don't focus on the micronutrients as well because this is a crucial aspect I can tell you. Because what happens, for example, if you're weight training, you form all these toxins and you there's a lot of waste in your body, and plus you need some additional support. So these micronutrients, that all the vitamins, like your insurance policies. For example, vitamin C would help you with the tissue repair. Okay, uh, vitamin E will help you like to get the free radicals that are caused to combat that. Fish oil for the joints and inflammation and every other thing. So
Right.
yeah, this is what really works. So people always underestimate and underrate micronutrients because these things because you people don't eat a lot of like at least minimum 5 to 6 portions of fruits and vegetables. That's how the multivitamins come into play. But I feel if you have enough fruits and vegetable, I think that's enough to recover and do the healing process. And it's just one aspect of fitness. Then there comes rest, then comes your eating habits and every other thing. If you combine all of this, I think it's easy for you to, it's not easy, but it's quite, makes the process easier for you achieving your goal.
Yeah,
And what's hard is that this fitness is for a long period of time. It's not for 6 months or 4 weeks or 8 months or 12 months or something like that. It's an endless journey, I said. So your efforts, consistent efforts over a long period of time, I think that is what gets you forward. And if you're dieting, people tend to, not people, I wouldn't call people, but I would include myself also, tend to lose, the discipline, that motivation. I think that's why the I follow the principle of cheat meals. So you work for 6 days and not work out. You work for 6 days. That is including your nutrition. That is also another part of your, lifestyle. Your nutrition, your water intake, and whatever that comes in that. So 7 days is a reward for you. So you will be motivated to that doesn't necessarily work for me because I got this discipline when I was prepping for bodybuilding contest because I had to do what I had to do in order to look in a certain way.
of
If I
course.
don't do it, someone else will come and someone else will be better than that because they have done it 2 times better than what I'm doing right now. So that's the thing. So you always got to make sure that you're eating properly, you're resting properly, you're drinking water properly, and it is over a consistent period of time and not just few months and any other thing. That's a misperception of fitness that people have, and it's high time we as intellectual beings we educate ourselves on eating healthy, reducing food portions. All right, because a person can have 3 meals, but we don't know what those 3 meals are consisting of. There are nutrients dense food, and there are then just empty caloric foods. Empty caloric foods would be like, if you have a burger, you get certain calories, but are they nutrient dense? No, not at all. So if you have your chicken or any other lean meat like fish, accompanied by, for example, this works this way. Carbs should be what works for me and what has worked for me till now is that the carbs should be the size of your palm, the entire palm, and the protein should be size of your half palm, and the veggies should be the size of your fist. All right, that is what has worked for me. And worked for my clients as well. You don't necessarily have to sit and I hate this. People sit and then, oh, you have to have a certain calories. Oh, this contains certain amount of things or this. I mean, why complicate yourself? Just start easy. All right. Focus on your food portions. Food portion is everything. Okay, so this is my one of my gym members who I used to train with and who I see every day in the gym. He's been having a query, or he's been doing, he's poured out his question, and it's I have been doing intermittent fasting for almost 2 years now. I do 16 by 8. So can you answer this for him? He would
Yeah.
be really happy if you do it.
So
That kept angling.
yeah, I don't think this is a question. I think he's just saying that he does do
Yeah.
intermittent fasting 16/8. So that's awesome, dude. Do you stay at 16/8, or do you like ever go less? Do you fast for longer? Um, do you do that every day of the week? And the only reason I'm asking is because I'm curious as far as like what your percent body fat is.
Hmm.
Because
So
if it's already a very low percent body fat, then go ahead and stay where you're at. But if you're trying to lose more body fat, I would recommend bumping up that 16/8 to a little bit more. Or it depends on okay, every day except Sunday. Then I'm assuming you're already at a very low percent body fat.
he's not actually. He's not on low for fat body fat percentage because he has some fat around his waist which he wants to reduce and give it an aesthetic look. Try to shed some fat around his waist and get a slimmer waist. That's his goal. He was asking me the day before about intermittent fasting. So I told him to, you can change his diet and try to eat like 4 meals like after every 3 hours, like small quantities.
Yeah.
So I feel you're here now, so you can advise him what he can do.
Yeah.
So
So
you said
sometimes
16/8, you can go ahead.
sometimes when I hear that people are fasting every day or like 6 days a week, but they're still struggling to lose weight, sometimes I'm concerned that they are unintentionally exaggerating how long they're fasting for, or maybe they're still eating a lot of junk food not during their fast, and they're actually eating a surplus of calories, even though they have a smaller eating window. Um,
Mhm.
and of course, this is something that's very possible, which is why I would recommend that this guy, for example, if he's trying to still lose some of that stubborn body fat around the waist, I would really
Mhm.
recommend bumping up those 16/8s. So I'm assuming you eat like 2 meals a day right now, which is great, but I would recommend trying to experiment with fasting for even longer. Like, for example, continue to do your 16/8s, but once a week do 23/1 and eat 1 meal for the whole day. And then once that's easy, start doing that twice a week, where you're doing a 23/1 on like Tuesday and Thursday, and you're eating a 16/8 every other day of the week, except for Sunday or whatever one day of the week you want to skip doing it. Um, and then don't think about it as a diet like I was saying before. Think about it as a lifestyle, and then the more you do that, the more natural it will become. And then like if every other week, like twice a month, you could throw in like a 48-hour dry fast where you're not eating anything or drinking any water for 2 days, that would really speed up your rate of fat loss. And especially if you have stubborn body fat, for everyone that has stubborn body fat, this is what I recommend that they do, because when you're dry fasting, that stubborn body fat doesn't stand a chance, because your body is going to take the water out of that fat store to use for for yourself. And it's crazy because, not to get off topic here because I know we were helping this guy out, but the longest dry fast I ever did was 72 hours. I did 3 days dry. And the reason I say it's crazy, because if you Google, if you do an internet search, how long the human body can survive without water, it's going to tell you 3 days, which is laughable because I literally did that. And like, I'm obviously not dead. Like, I'm not, like you're talking to me right now. So it's just funny. And it's just all these like it's crazy because the food industry and the health industry, as hip
Mhm.
as they are to so many things, they're so outdated when it comes to so many other things, because most of the news and science that we have in the food and health industry is just based on how the food and health industry can make money. And the food and health industry cannot make money on fasting. So they're not going to fund any research on this. You see what I mean?
Mhm. Exactly.
So
Exactly. Exactly. I get the point.
that's why we don't hear about this kind of stuff. And if you tell
Mhm.
people, you got to be aware of this, and I hope this guy is still listening to me here. You got to be aware
Mhm.
of this. If you tell people, okay, this is really important. If you tell people, hey, I did a 2 day fast, or hey, I did a 2 day dry fast and I didn't drink any water, people are going to look at you and say, you're crazy, or you have a problem, or you have an eating disorder. You need help. And it's funny. Okay, first of all, disclaimer: if you have anorexia or bulimia, fasting is probably not for you. Maybe that's something you should not be doing. Okay, but however, it's crazy because people are. I don't want to use the word brainwashed because it makes me sound like a conspiracy theorist. But people are like trained by society to think that you can't do this kind of stuff. You can't fast for long periods of time, because if you do that, oh, you just automatically have an eating disorder. And that's simply not true. That's not the case. And
Mhm.
to know yourself, to know that you don't have an eating disorder when you're fasting, is just always make sure that you are in control. Are you in control of when you eat? Are you in control of how long you fast? Are you in control of obviously keeping your food down? Excuse me. As long as you maintain control, you are fasting. You are not in you do not have a disorder, okay? But if you lose control and you're putting your body into like a catabolic state or starvation mode, and you refuse to eat in that caloric surplus to fix your metabolic rate, then that's when you might seriously have a problem, okay? But otherwise, just because you're experimenting with doing longer fasts, that does not necessarily mean that you have a problem. And people are, again, I don't want to use the word brainwashed, but you know what I mean. People are trained by society to think that you can't do this. You know, if someone came up to you today and you've never heard of this before, and they said, hey,
Mhm.
yes, for the last 2 days I didn't eat or drink anything, you're going to be like, what in the world is wrong with this guy? Because the science just isn't there. And the reason the science isn't there is because it's not being funded. And the reason it's not being funded is because, like I said earlier, they simply can't make any money on it. I hope that makes sense to everybody
Mhm.
watching.
Yeah, it does. And one thing about this intermittent fasting or fasting that you're talking about, just as you say, like a person comes and tells you, like, I haven't eaten for 2 days, and then you're like, what? How come I'm still alive? The same thing happens when you go on a normal diet. I know about this Indian families. Uh, you go on a normal diet, you still eat after every 3 hours, but whatever comes in your plate is like really clean food. It's all healthy eating. For example, there will be some veggies, some chicken or fish, and then there'll be some little white rice. Okay, then you eat it. So, and as you lose, an Indian mom or an Indian dad will come and tell you that you should. What are you doing to yourself? You're starving yourself. Don't do this. You need to eat, you need to eat, you need to eat. But there's this misperception that, people think that if you starve yourself, you're not going to die. Because that's the whole point. You're eating, you're still feeding yourself, refeeding yourself after
Right.
certain hours, right? And food is crucial. Food is necessary, but extra food is not.
Right.
Like if you cut on sweets and if you cut on certain desserts and try to avoid large portions, then these Indian families they get paranoid about it. I say, what you're doing? You're not even having sweets. And for example, in some instances, I recommend the Indian bread, the chapati. Okay, that is like really good. So even if you don't eat rice in the Indian family, the mother is going to freak out. You're not even eating rice. How are you surviving with those breads, brown breads or those brown chapatis? How are you surviving? So that's the perception that we have in India, majority of the families. And yeah, but if my thing is like I started working out, and there's a reason my mother got involved into fitness. She works out on her own, like watching YouTube videos, and then I also train her at times. And
Hmm.
although she doesn't follow a diet, she's 53 years old, but she has these portions which are like controlled. She'll eat thrice a day, and she wouldn't make it late, like eating the dinner late or eating it too late. So then there's no activity and there's no proper digestion because it's not like you're doing fasting. Fasting allows you space to digest, right? It's
Right.
like you're eating your breakfast, you're eating something in between as a snack, and then you're eating lunch, and then as a snack something, and then dinner. So still eating all these meals, even if one meal goes off. So that's not a problem. There shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, that is how it works. And I don't know about intermittent fasting. I think I should learn about it and try to apply this to my clients. But I'm afraid that in spite of giving 6 meals or 4 meals, they still want to eat something else. So intermittent fasting would be like really uncomfortable at the start, during the start, because the person would be like, "Oh, I'm eating something right now, and God knows when is the time going to come. I'm going to eat my next meal. So let's have a piece of dessert in between. That's not going to harm." So yeah, that's the thing. But I think you need to have a strong mindset and you need to be disciplined if you're following intermittent fasting or any other forms of, uh, diet, you can say.
Right.
I
And
think
that's
what.
that's why I said that I really try to get people to start slow and build your way up because again,
Mhm,
your body will adapt to it and eventually it will feel natural and it won't take as much discipline. Whereas if you jump right into being like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to start doing 16/8 every single day for the rest of my life." Like that might be too hard for some people, you know? Whereas
exactly.
if you do like a 12 or 13-hour fast every other day and then slowly start to build yourself up to a 16/8
Mhm,
every day, eventually it will become
mhm,
natural and you'll get like me, to be totally honest. You'll get like me to the
mhm,
point where you'll be in a fasted state and you'll be disgusted by the thought of even eating. You'll be like, "Ugh,
mhm,
I don't want to eat right now.
mhm,
Like this is not like that does not sound appetizing," which is crazy to people that maybe just start fasting. Like you can't even imagine that. But it, like I said, your body is made to adapt to all kinds of external stimulus, including this. So
mhm.
just take that for what it's worth. But
Yes.
we've been talking for about an hour, man. We can go ahead and wrap it up. Is there anything else that you wanted to share
Yes.
before we get off here?
No, that's all. Like we covered a lot today.
Oh yeah.
And the whole topic went on to fasting because I think that is what I've heard from people these days. So it's growing. The intermittent fasting is growing, and that's really nice. I would definitely want to try it for a week and see how it goes. It'll be uncomfortable for me initially, but I think I can get a hang of it because I have the discipline to do it. And let's see how it goes. If it works for me, then I can surely recommend it to someone else who's because the thing is I already have this low body fat percentage, so I don't need to do it. So people who are obese or overweight, I can apply this principle to them, and it can definitely help me. Thanks for
Right.
that.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, I mean, I also have a very low percentage of body fat too. I'm already super lean, but I do fasting anyway because it helps with muscle
Mhm.
retention. So I don't even need to go to the gym as often. But yeah, if you want more information on this, you yourself, but also the people watching this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's in the link in my bio, and I do post videos on there about once a week, every week, about fasting. I'll post this video on there too after I record this live video here I have going with you. So I have some videos on there about dry fasting, about how to start fasting, and stuff like that. So I also am writing a book right now about
Wow.
all my secrets, really, as far as fitness, fasting, faith, workout routines, how to structure your fasts. And I'm going to release, I don't know if you could hear me. I'm going to release that
I can hear
sometime
you.
within the next month or two. So be on the lookout for that. So if anyone is watching this live right now,
I'll definitely share this with my audience, and all the very best for your book. I'm sure I'm going to be the one who's going to read it as well. But good work, Christopher. I'm really happy that I spoke to you today, and also I'm amazed by your work. Guys, do follow his YouTube channel. He has some crazy videos that are coming up, and you're doing really good, buddy. And I must say, all the best for the future, and all the best for your book. And you're going to definitely nail it in few years. That's my review
awesome.
about you, and I can see that. I can see the potential.
Awesome. Thank you. You too. We'll stay in touch, man.
Yes, sure. It was nice talking to you, buddy.
It was nice talking to you too,
Okay.
man. I'm gonna say good night, but for you it's good morning. So
Good morning.
I'll
So
talk to
yeah,
you later,
sending
bro.
you all the love and more power and more energy all the way from India.
Absolutely. Same from you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.